that, we get into the whole thing about Peter Parker that no one knows who he is.
This is bullshit. This is, So, why did fans have to go through the awfulness of Brand New Day? Why? So, Peter Parker, so they can throw Peter Parker, Spider-Man, back into how he was in the glory days, where nobody knew who Spider-Man was. All right? And then you break up the wedding between Mary Jane and Spider-Man so he could be singled again. So, but the most important thing, I think, is that nobody knows who Spider-Man is. Mm-hmm. Iron Man doesn't know who Spider-Man is, because they met in Invincible Iron Man. Daredevil doesn't know who Spider-Man is, which you should be able to. So in Daredevil...
Norman Osborn doesn't know who he is either.
Right. And somebody pointed out on our boards, I'm sorry I forgot your name, they made a very good observation of the whole fact that Gwen Stacy died because Norman Osborn knew who Peter Parker was, and he was Spider-Man.
Right.
But now Norman Osborn doesn't know that anymore, so wouldn't that negate the whole Gwen Stacy death thing?
Yeah, considering that they're going back and negating a lot of stuff.
Exactly. That I never thought of that, and that is a very good observation.
Right. And the whole thing that Gwen is gone, why is she gone? Because Norman Osborn knew that she was Peter Parker's girlfriend. How did he know that she was Peter Parker's girlfriend? Because we had this revelation way back when. So, again, we're seeing all these little bits. It's like a patchwork. I mean, I don't mean to seem like such a continuity nerd, but... there has to be a consistency to the storytelling, and it changes all the motivations.
Right, and the big thing was that they rewrote continuity, so Spider-Man, when someone would know who Spider-Man was.
Right. It was more than just undoing the wedding of Peter Parker and Mary Jane.
It undid the whole Civil War thing.
Undo the whole unmasking thing, yes.
So now they're like, Clint Barton's... saying, well, you know what, we need to see your face, because, or else you can't be in the Avengers.
Right.
And Peter Parker's like, oh, really? He's like, man, well, I always thought the day would come that if you guys asked me to do this, I would just leave the team. But then he's like, I like being an Avenger. I love being an Avenger.
Why?
Since when?
Yeah. I mean, there's really nothing
He's just another guy on the team sitting around not doing anything. I don't understand why all of a sudden he was always, again... We're going to talk to some of you guys out there who don't respect any of the continuity in comics and are only about comics nowadays. Back in the day, Spider-Man was an Avenger, a reserve Avenger, and he would be on the team every once in a while, but he always knew that wasn't his place.
Right.
He wasn't a team guy, and this was the whole problem when the New Avengers formed, that you took a bunch of solo superheroes and you threw them in as a team, and that's why it's never worked for me.
It was basically the Marvel Knights is what they were.
Right.
Remember the whole thing about Marvel Knights being all these solo characters coming together for different reasons, but even the creators knew that these characters didn't work well together.
And obviously they still don't.
Yeah. No, because this is not a team by any means.
So, Brian Michael Bendis has to do something to be the top writer. I'm sure he asked to do this. Just so he can have the big thing in one of his comics. Peter Parker unmasks himself to the New Avengers. Again. I have a real problem with this just because the New Avengers are nothing special.
No.
I'm sorry, they don't. It's never come across that they are. It's never come across that this is Peter Parker's second family.
Right.
And just to go ahead and unmask himself in front of like 10 people.
Right.
I'm sorry, but I just don't buy it. And this is just utter bullshit.
Right. Well, in any case, we didn't want to make it so much a review as a commentary, but that's where it stands right now. And like I haven't even picked up this issue. I'm not going to. Oh wait, well, how does the issue end? How many pages of sitting around the table and talking? Sitting around a table and eating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pages out of 22. I'm sorry, how many pages out of 22 here do we have people sitting around talking?
We had like 6 or 7 with Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
So it's like, what, 16?
16 or 17 out of 22 pages, and the only action that occurs happens on the remainder of the pages.
And Doctor Strange, and they hear a thump outside, and Luke Cage goes, "Oh, sweet Christmas," and then Doctor Strange is all like, "Help me." But, you know what else I noticed? Peter Parker jumps outside without his mask on.
That's not a good way to save your secret identity.
What if it was a villain or something?
Yeah.
it seems kind of ridiculous. So now that he's shown himself the Avengers, now he's just going to run around without his mask on? I'm sorry, but that's not what Peter Parker does. And whoever the artist was, maybe the artist screwed up on it, but they should have known better.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is a real, nitpick for continuity, but it's kind of a big thing, and
it is a huge thing.
This comic sucks.
All right.
And it's supposed to be, who's going to be the new Sorcerer Supreme. I really hope it's Brother Voodoo.
How much was that book?
Of course, it was $3.99.
Yeah.
$3.99 for a bunch of people talking heads, talking in a restaurant, talking over coffee.
Ridiculous. All right.
So yeah.
That's that. And we'll see you in the next segment.